Welcome back to Luke's Properties YouTube channel. In this video, I'm going to sit and talk with two of my mentees who have taken on 14 rent-to-rent deals in just 1 year. They're making thousands of pounds every month from controlling other people's properties using the rent-to-rent strategy. If you're interested in getting started in rent-to-rent, then this video is for you. So get ready to take some notes and sit back and enjoy this insightful conversation.
I mean, I just want to hear about the story, guys, you know, how it's been going, where we've been, what's been happening.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's crazy. A lot has happened over these last, we started last year, the course, and me and my brother, we said to each other, hey, look, let's find a way to get into the property. And to be honest, we found you. We've always been looking at your stuff, but it was one of my mates that had said, I joined onto Luke's Property. And I was like, I've seen that guy around everywhere. I have seen him around. And I remember like the cost was, I think it was £500 or something like that. I can't remember. But I was like, this is perfect. Because for us, when it comes to training, we wanted someone that was a little bit more collective. We like that. Like very much
relate to as well, right?
Yeah, exactly. Similar ages and things. And I was like, okay, yeah, we like this guy. And
you boys are a bit younger than me, but yeah.
Yeah, we make you blush. Know what it is?
A little bit.
Yeah, man. And then since that course, we were like, okay, we learned the foundations. Mm-hmm. You know, we learned, okay, this is how we get a property. This is how we speak to estate agents. This is how we find units. And it just built a better picture in our brains, isn't it? And then we just went to work.
Prior to that, man, so we've actually been thinking, sorry to interrupt, Sam. So we've actually been thinking about getting into property since like 2019, maybe even before. Mm-hmm. So for those who don't know, me and Sam, like we work in like corporate backgrounds, like banking and stuff like that. So for me, from an early age, when you're like a South Asian, you're always kind of taught to be a doctor, a lawyer, or it's out one of those two, right? So yeah, we done banking, and bro, I used to just dread it. So me and Sam have always kind of been thinking about what we can do outside of that, right? Because no matter how much kind of salary you make, we just found our time was being consumed by just going into work. And obviously we've been following a couple of guys as well. So you know yourself, there's been other few people as well. But I guess the reason why we done your course is because we can resonate with you, and you was filling in the gaps for us. Yeah, we started our journey last year, man. It's been mental.
I want to hear all about it, man. So you came on the course sort of April times last year, and from then, literally, I've been keeping a close eye on you guys, and it's just been deal after deal.
So I think we got our first deal, Sam. When was it? Was it Twickenham?
Hey, side note, I still work in a corporate job. I don't dread it, right? Because if my employer looks at me, they're going to be like, hold on, what are you talking about dreading?
That's an interesting dynamic, though, for one of you to be out and one of you to still 1 foot in, you know, because it's like you get to see more of the how it actually is, you know, and it's like, when is that step the right time for people?
Listen, you know, my brother's more of the risk taker out of us. He's the one that always says like, let's do this, let's do that. Like, I'm probably a little bit more hesitant right now. Like I work full time and my brother works in the business full time. Mm-hmm. He takes a salary, but he has 50% equity in the business, which is great, right? That means the upside is unlimited for us. That we have this different, like we have like a yin and yang, and I have my strength and he has his strength, and it just works so well together.
Hand, man, because obviously where Sam has like, the thing is, Sam, you work like at home as well, so that helps because you focus more on like the business development side of things. With me, I focus more on like the operations. So how can we tighten the operations? So for me, I'm always thinking the worst case scenario. Like, what's the worst case scenario? But Sam's like here, and I'm here. It works hand to hand because I'm always like, I'm the one who stays grounded. Yeah. Sam's already got $1 million plan. So this is really good.
Definitely. It helps share the load, you know?
Yeah, you can talk about the first unit that we got last year after Luke's course. We got it pretty soon after, right? The Grove.
You guys didn't hang around.
The Grove, yeah. So the Grove, let me talk you through that. So this particular deal we got from an estate agent. So I basically called up and I don't even remember what I was doing, but I think I just randomly called an estate agent and I was like, do you accept company lets, blah, blah, blah. Went through that whole script and they were like, yeah. But when they said yes, I kind of shuffled. I was just like shaking. I was like, yeah. Okay, cool. Kind of just freestyled it, man, because I don't know what this is. So then we kind of just went through the process, went through the referencing, and we secured it. It's weird because one of the girls who works there is one of my mates' little sister. So it was kind of, she had put in a good reference for us.
Which obviously helps, right? Because estate agents, they want to know like who they're renting the property to. They want to know that there's that trust there, you know? So if you already had some built from a recommendation, then that's going to be...
Yeah, but from then, man, it's just been a domino effect. I feel like when you get one, you've now got an estate agent on your side. You've now got a reference. So if you now approach different estate agents or private landlords, you can then use that person as a reference. Sam, do you want to speak more about that?
Yeah, so after we got that property, we thought, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to do the rent-to-rent strategy where we rent out each of the units for a 6-month period, and then we know how much profit we get at each month because it's rent to rent, right?
Yep.
But then we realized that actually it's coming up to summer period. Let's smash it and let's just get a load of money in from the service accommodation,
Sure.
Mark, Airbnb's, Booking.coms.
Yep, short-term lets.
We realized, short-term lets. And then we realized that, okay, like we're getting good money from this. From the get-go though, what was really important to me and Milad was we have to create a brand, creating an for ourselves and, live and die by that brand. So we created a business called Rockman Estates. Yep. Which is our company name, but our trading name is Rockman Stays. And the reason why we chose Rockman actually is because our surname's Rahman, and my dad, he's got a bit of an East London, he had a bit of an East London twang, that's Bangladeshi, and he would say Rockman. Okay. My brother was like, okay, like he's passed away now, so it's kind of like, it's a name after our surname, but also like it means a lot more to us. So we like really like, we do everything by that brand, like it's our image, it's our reputation. Love that. And since having that brand, it's just meant more opportunities have come to us. So we've got a website, we've got a professional phone number, even if it is a 2-man band, we're looking to hire people. Yeah. And now you get companies calling us saying, look, Sam, I need this, I need a property, 6-bedroom, this is our day rate. And I'm just like shit, we need more. We need more. We need more stock. We need more stock. And now we're down 13 units later. Is it 13, Milad?
Crazy.
12, but we're going to get 13 soon.
That's crazy. Yeah. That's crazy to be in double figures already at this point, because so many people come on the course and they take a while to get going, but you guys literally just took the knowledge, started to apply it, and within a matter of weeks, you was off the ground.
I think it happened to win though, right? Because I think you can do as many courses as you want, but it actually happened to win that you actually have to take that step yourself.
Sure.
That course definitely helped, man.
What it's there for, and I can always tell when I have different types of mentees. Like some people are quite apprehensive, some people want to take the knowledge in and then maybe apply it 6 months down the line. But I could tell quite quickly, as soon as I spoke to you both, that these guys are serious guys. They're going to definitely apply the knowledge immediately and be looking at getting results quite quickly. So it's not a surprise to me that you guys have done so well, but I just think that your story can definitely help other people who are starting out, for sure. That's why I want to share it with everyone today.
I mean, just to follow on what you're saying, I think for anyone starting out, I think education was the most important thing, because you need a professional who's done it before to at least guide you and help you into what you're doing. You need to know the foundation, but there are some things that courses don't teach you, and that's something you need to find deep inside yourself. You need to be motivated, determined, and you need to have strong discipline, because sometimes it's not all fun.
No, it's not.
Do rubbish stuff, and it's like people do look at the money aspect, and the money is great, but like people don't understand that you have to be disciplined, and you have to do the stuff that no one wants to do. I mean, I don't know how explicit I can be, but I've had to clean some disgusting things off walls. Yeah,
explicit, bro. There's no false guard here. Don't worry.
Listen, like there was a dog. I don't know why we allowed it, but we let a dog stay into one of our units.
I've done that before.
That's a lesson, though. That's a lesson. Yeah. I remember Sam was saying, like, this was our 3rd unit, by the way. So this was the one which completed like earlier this year, and we were just desperate to book in. And Sam was like, "Do you know what? We accept dogs, cats, everything." And I was like, "Sam, don't."
Everyone's welcome.
Everyone, just come in, man.
He was like, "Trust me." And then what happened? There was like 2 massive dogs just pooing everywhere. Yeah, it wasn't great. And then we had to find someone to clean that poo up, and it was wrong.
Right? Tough job to advertise for. These are parts of the learning process, like you said there, like you can learn so much from a course, but there's certain things you're going to have to learn on the job.
It's weird. Like I'm still glad that I did it. In a weird way, it didn't feel bad. It felt like it's my business. Like I don't mind.
If it's as bad as it gets, then I'm okay with this. We can clean it up, we can move on, we can get new people in, we can still make money. Like, it's not the end of the world. No problem's ever the end of the world.
Yeah, exactly, and that's how we looked at it. I think. I just can't believe it, Luke. I mean, I'm just a bit in awe, because I mean, it was a year ago since we've done our course, and it's actually so much has happened since then. And so much is happening now.
And I know it must seem like a haze to you guys because it's happened so quickly. Because that's similar to my story. Everything happened so quick. So when people was asking me to come and talk about it, I was just like, I don't even know how to organize this in my own brain, let alone like articulate it on camera. But
so much has happened, man, and even because this was meant to happen way before, but there's so much stuff going on, like new units. You don't have to order furniture. Like there's so much going on. It's like I can't, not now.
I think having one of you in the business full time is definitely going to be beneficial to you guys both, because there's some things that you just need to be hands-on with. Different people take different approaches. Some people try and build the business around work and stuff, and that can work. It can work out that way. I think that having at least one person full-time in there definitely helps, because some things happen at random times, don't they? And you need to, you can't really be waiting till 5, 6 o'clock to take action. If a landlord calls you and is ready to give you the keys at midday, 1 o'clock, you need to get there, don't you, really?
Yeah, I think early on is fine as well. Like, I think when I was working, we had about 3 units. So on my lunch breaks, I would like go on viewings and try and get any deals. So that helped a lot. But it just got to the point where like we'd get email from guests, or someone's been locked out, and it's like, bro, I'm working. Like I can't. I can't. And luckily, like, so how my 9 to 5 works, I'm a contractor. So at that time it ended, and I was like, it's not even that bad, because it just means we can scale the business faster. And then I think we was in our 3rd unit, and then we got the block of 4, which we posted about a couple of months ago. And then I was like, all right, I don't think I need to actually go back to work now. And then since then we've got like another couple as well. So it's just a domino effect. The more effort you put in, the more you kind of reap out of it.
That's what so many people struggle with, is like going for, when do they go full time into it? But all that happens when you put more time in is that you get more deals. You get to go over the cracks and make the business a bit more strong, and dot your I's, cross your T's, where you allocate the time. And I found that myself, just by really going for it. It definitely speeds up the process. And like you say, you get your first deal, then you've got proof of concept, then you start to have a testimonial, other landlords can see your work, and it just makes things a lot easier. That first one's the most difficult for sure. I think what you guys have really done that's helped you guys a lot is having that brand, that clear sort of story, which we're going to try and continue to grow and develop. You guys' story, but I think it's a fantastic story, especially like I didn't know that about your dad, and I'm sorry to hear that, but that gives the brand even more character. It's like you guys have got a real good story that deserves to be shared, and so many people are going to get inspiration from seeing you guys. I mean, I'm sure you've been getting messages already from people like asking, does it work, can you help, and things like this, and that's leading us into hopefully more opportunities, which we'll talk about as time goes on. But the sourcing side of things, I mean, I get asked every day, like, can you source me deals? Can you source me deals? And I mean, it's not something that we offer, but I mean, it's definitely something we could discuss. Like, I think you guys have been trained by us. We trust you. We know you guys know a good deal when you see one, and you guys have got integrity as well. So I'm sure that any deal that you would be selling to someone else would definitely be a viable deal. So doors open when you just do the work and you just continue to, one foot after the other, small incremental steps, learning on the job, and there's no limit to what you guys can achieve now, really. I don't think.
Yeah, listen, it's crazy when you say that. Just realize there's no cap.
None.
Like, world is your oyster, I think.
Yeah.
We used to limit ourselves at the beginning, though. Sorry to cut you off there, Sam. Like, I remember when we first started, me and Sam will always have conversation, and we'll be like, look, if we make £500 per unit, because that's like the standard, isn't it? Where you hear people.
Standard. Yeah.
You make £500, you make 10 of those, $5,000, you're good.
Yeah.
But actually, like, we've been limiting ourselves, and when we was like working out our calculations, we used to be like, if we do £120 a day rate and then times by 70%, that's what we're happy with. But there's actually the way we've strategized our business now is we're trying to get 30-day occupancy. We're trying to get the long-term bookings.
Yeah.
That's really, and now we're getting that. I think we're covered until December. So now we just, all right, that's covered us until the winter period, which is probably the most difficult part.
Definitely.
Now we're trying to forecast like what we're going to do between like January onwards.
Smiling because basically we've got long-term bookings till December, and I'll tell you a really interesting story after this about how much a brand can help. But we're putting till December, and like before we had long-term bookings, me and Milad will be on the phone to each other. Like, I'll be at work, we'll be on the blower. Like, hey, look, can we do this? Can you do that? Like, can you contact this person? And now we kind of call each other, and like, I'm like, what are you doing? Like, but we have no work to do because everything's booked up. So what do we start? We're just like, but anyway, I'll just show an interesting story, because I think a lot of people look at this business model, and they want real honest answers as to how much can you actually make. So I thought I'd say that.
Sure.
So across, I think, do you have the figures in front of you, Milad? I mean, across like 10, block of 4, how much profit are you making on that per month?
It's a good question. I don't have the figures in front of me.
But we didn't really prep for this meeting because we were just going to be doing it. But July time was 15k net profit across all of our properties, which is just amazing. We were just like, this is like insane. And these are all long-term bookings. But actually, one of our large clients booked a couple of properties through us, right? So we've let the properties out, and but now the project that he's running is pretty big, and now he's come to us because he trusts the Rockman Stays brand, which is on Google. We've got professional number, like we have good relationship building skills. He's come to us and he said, "Look, Sam, I need another 6-bed," and I'm like, okay, like in my head, I'm calling Milad. I'm like, I don't have a freaking 6-bed. What do we do?
Yeah.
But then we found out someone that does.
Okay.
Anyway, a week goes by. We make the arbit, so we make the money in between. I think it was around 3K for a month. We made 3K on that.
Fantastic.
This is all right. This is all right. He calls me again. That's how I need an 8-bed.
Yes.
Another 5-bed. Basically, it got to the point where, like, I think we're arbitraging now. So apart from using our own properties, we're using our brand, our trust, and our position in the market to be the trusted advisor to our clients. Who's like, who trust us in saying, look, Sam, I need you to source these properties for my guys that are coming over. And working on the project. I'm about to raise an invoice to him for 30 grand. I'm going to take some of that money and I'm going to pay our guys who are hosting our client. So this month alone, forget properties, forget our properties or our units. We've just made 15 grand in the middleman, being the middleman.
This is business.
Only because we have a brand. Now, I think, like, if anyone wants to start this business, create a brand, create identity.
Think bigger than Airbnb and Booking.com, because we used to limit ourselves to those two, and then ever since we've built like a logo of a brand, we've got a web designer. When you invest in your brand, man, it's important. It's very important.
Sure, it gives you an identity. It allows people to see your brand and think, okay, I know what I'm getting from those people. And that's I've had similar stories where when you talk about arbitrage, and I think you're alluding to like a relocation sort of agent who potentially could be calling you, or a corporate professional.
Exactly.
And we've had that often as well. Once you have that trust, then the phone calls start to come in, and it's almost as if other people are doing your work for you because they're sort of like, we've got these tenants come in. We know you guys are trustworthy. We know you guys can get the properties. Can you go and find it for us? And it's like, yeah, I can, because the relationships I've built with the agents and the landlords allows me to be that one step ahead and to go and get those keys and furnish it and set it up properly for you guys, and that's where the money is, isn't it? It's providing that valuable service that not a lot of these companies can do themselves, or they don't have the time. That's another thing that a lot of people don't realize. They think, like, a lot of these companies don't have the time. They'd rather pay someone like yourselves, a specialist in that sector, to go and find the property rather than try and do it themselves, because it's going to take them a lot longer. Some of them, I'm sure you guys have seen, like, different nationality contractors that are over here working. Some of them can't get long-term tenancies in their own company's name, so they need people like yourselves to come in and be the middleman. And of course, you have to get paid for that service. That's just business,
Yeah, it's that, like you just said, which is key, is that creating value for people.
Yeah.
I think when you genuinely care about your clients' needs, requests, you understand the problems that they're facing.
Yeah.
So, like you said, they might not have time, they might be rushed off their feet, and they just need someone to think about accommodation. That's where you add that service. And if a few quid comes off that, it comes off that. Value creation is the most important factor.
Value always first, and the money will come. Something that is so underrated. Like, a lot of people, especially like nowadays, like the younger generation, they want all the money straight away. And I'm constantly telling them daily, you have to be useful first. You're not just going to get paid. Money doesn't just fall from the sky. You have to actually fill a gap, and then you will be paid accordingly. It doesn't work the other way around. And I think some people are a little bit too impatient. You have to get good at what you're doing first. That's like the main goal, and then everything else is secondary, and the money will come. But you have to get good first, and that takes practice. That takes doing reps. That takes those phone calls between you two. What can we do today? All right, all the properties are filled. Let's work on the brand. Let's do this. Let's do that. That takes discipline. That shows your character. Because a lot of people making that money would be putting their feet up. To be honest with you, they'd be booking a flight over to the Caribbean or wherever you want to go, and they'll be happy with that. But it's a testament to your character that you're not stopping there. I can see it in both of your faces. Like, you lot are incredibly ambitious, like myself, and I love to see that.
It's important not to get complacent as well, because obviously this 30 grand a month is good, but for us, it's like, okay, is this a one-off, or can we do it for the next 12 months? Can we get it to 40, 50? And then, because I think next year we want to get to the point where we're starting buying now. Like, we want to start buying properties and actually getting things in our names.
Sure.
This business is a really good, like, cash flowing business. That's like what I would say. And it's helped me not having to go back to work, which is even great, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel myself just itching my head, because I'm just like, game to do now. Like,
I remember Milad saying to me, coming on one of the Zoom calls, saying, "I've had enough of work, Luke. No, I'm quitting. I've had enough." And this is like a year ago. I remember it clearly. I remember thinking, "No, this guy, he's hungry, and he's at the stage where he needs more now." And you have to kind of get to that point. A lot of people, they don't get to that stage, but you have to be at that point where you're ready to flip the switch and say, "Right, I'm going to go and make this happen for myself.
Not to shit on anyone who's got a 9 to 5, because it's obviously helped me buy my first house. It's, investing in the business, but for me anyways, because I've been doing this since I was young, it just got to the point where I was like, there needs to be something more. And especially when we was growing up, like our dad used to work, between 5 till 11, like quite late, so we wouldn't have that time with him. So I always think when I have like my missus and my kids when I'm older, like, how do I want to spend my time?
Exactly.
I don't want to be away from my kids or my missus.
No.
I feel like the money, it brings back your time, doesn't it?
Of course it does. And this is another thing that people get wrong often is when you look at wealth, the actual word wealth, it's like a derivative of well-being, isn't it? So it's not just about the financial aspect. It's also about, like you say, the time, the freedom, spending time with your loved ones, being, there for your family, having time to do things that you want to do over like just making the money. So I think that's a fantastic plan to start looking at recycling the profits and putting that into buying assets as well, because it just gives you another layer to your business. Like it's just another foundation. You've got the rent to rents that are bringing you fantastic cash flow, but then you start to buy properties, which is more of a long-term game. But using the skills that you've acquired through rent to rent, it's only going to benefit you guys, because you can rent your own properties out as service accommodation, which I'm sure you'll be doing, knowing what you know now. There's no way you guys are going to be doing bog standard buy to let with just a single let tenant in there making a couple £100 a month. I know exactly what you guys are going to do, and it makes sense. Leveraging the skills that you've already acquired, maximizing your cash flow. That way you're building the long-term capital appreciation, but you're also getting paid well every month from your assets as well. So future's bright for you guys, man, for sure.
Thank you. I think what we quite like about this business is it's never perfect, and we quite like that. Like there's always something to do. There's always new ways to find new customers. There's always ways to acquire new properties. There's always new marketing strategies we can use. There's always new people to email. There's so many new things you can do, and it keeps you on your toes. And I think that's what we really like. I think the one thing that we probably haven't done though is probably treat ourselves as much as we probably should. I think honestly, like we have a business card and stuff like that, of course, right? And I feel keep saying to Milad, like, I'm going to buy myself dinner on this card, and he's like, yeah, go for it, man, as you should. And I'm just like, I end up using my own personal card because I'm like, no, actually, no, I don't want to do that. Tonight we've decided that we're going to treat ourselves, and we're going to we're going to go to a dinner in Mayfair.
Point in doing it, right? You make all this money. If it's just sitting in the bank and you're just not changing your life, then So I think me and Sam, we've agreed to have like a quarterly lunch. Not every month. We don't want to decrease the bank balance too much. Quarterly is good.
Well, it's important to find that balance. Like people always talk about this work-life balance, but I think that you need to have that time out to sort of reflect and just switch off a bit, because you become so obsessed, don't you, in the beginning, like with building and the thing, whatever the thing is. In this case, rent to rent. It kind of like everything, nothing else matters. You just become so tunnel vision. And I don't know if you can relate. I'm sure you can, but it's like people around you start to notice that you're not even present at times. Like you're so focused on what you're going to do. So that's the kind of struggle that you'll continue to go through. It's like phases of intense work and then sort of checking back into the real world and being present and going and enjoying yourself, having a dinner. Like those things are important, just as important as the income, as building the business. You need to have balance. Going back to well-being, it's you want to keep your mental health in tip-top condition as well. And I've had times where I've overworked with rent to rent especially, and it becomes too much, and trying to grow too quick, hundreds of rooms, tenants this is going wrong over here, I'm trying to build over here. You have to be like that in the beginning, but I think the stage you guys are getting to now, you need to start allocating some time to just switch off a bit.
Yeah, definitely. And one of the ways we have tried to switch, not necessarily switch off, but how we can share our workload is we've been working with people around us. Like it's crazy. Like when you're in a business, like I now know a removals guy that has helped us remove, transport furniture from property. And I'm just like, he's one of my best mates growing up, So like we now can work. Right? I grew up with another guy, Charlie. I forgot the company name.
Ian and Sons Removals,
based in Essex. They'll do anywhere as well. Ian and Sons Removals. And now I can give him work, which is great, right? We can help other people grow. My little sister, bless her. So we basically given her a job of an interior designer.
I see her like recording and that as well. Is she doing some of the content for you guys as well?
She's like, she's designing all of the apartments, and she does a really good job, right? I mean, look, I think I don't know if I can say this, but females just have a better eye when it comes to interior design.
You can say this. I mean, I agree 100%. My missus is way better at that stuff than me, way better.
And she's really good at that. And like we say to her, listen, we'll give you X amount of property, and she's like, yeah, quid's in. She's at uni, right? So she now doesn't. She was thinking about going back to a retail job on the weekend, but now she doesn't have to do that. She can work for a legitimate company like ours. We pay her, and she gets to focus on her studies, but also earning an income, which is really important. So what is good is the fact that we can, from this business, we've managed to help other businesses grow.
Yeah,
like that.
Which is, there's no better feeling than that, is there? Really, like
100%.
being able to employ good people, let alone like friends and family. I mean, it's the best.
Yeah. My missus, she's a finance director for a startup, so she has a very demanding job.
Mm-hmm.
And when it comes to accounts, when it comes to understanding the numbers, the financing,
mm-hmm.
she's been great at like helping me understand the numbers, because I'm not a dummy when it comes to numbers, because I got an A in maths, right? But the thing is, when it comes to accounts, I'm just like,
yeah, no, I'll be honest, chaps. Like accounts still gets me sometimes. Like I can think I'm on top of it, and then I can see like certain tax bills, and I'll be like, huh?
Yeah, man. I'm learning that side. Yeah, like it's just constant growth. Like right now, we're seeing people on Instagram talking about holding company, corporate structures, and tax saving strategies. We'll call it that.
Yeah,
people, talking about stuff like that. And it's like, okay, like let's listen to these guys. Let's pay. Like, because I'm a sucker for paying for courses, because I just think I think it's important to learn and learn quickly. And Milad actually does say to me, like, bruv, like, why do you keep paying for courses? Like, Milad is like, you do it yourself. I'm like, no, because we pay these guys, professionals. They come to us, we talk about it, and then I've got that information quicker than researching it. I believe everyone has a speciality, and I'm a speciality. 100%.
Yeah, I mean, for sure, it's going to speed you up, isn't it? I mean, you have to whittle through like the good ones. There are some out here who are better than others, but I'm a strong advocate for paying for education. Definitely, if you can get someone who is a little bit further ahead than you and leverage their knowledge, it's only going to speed you up.
Yeah, definitely.
I think like both of you have done so well. It's crazy when I think, like, I'm looking through some questions now to ask you guys, but just the main notes I've got on here is like 1 year and like literally double figures in rent-to-rent deals. It's mad. Like, probably I'd say my best mentees at this point.
You had a good teacher, Luke. Genuinely, like, the reason why we wanted to invest in you, because we liked your demeanor, your attitude, your methodical approach. But there's many people out there that can be quite salesy and very, I also like that as well. Right, so I really like that, but I was like, we need something a little bit more structured, more 1, 2, 3, and that's what was helpful.
I think our sessions, like one-on-one, very beneficial to you guys. Like, I could tell you guys were soaking everything up and making notes, and just, you've gone straight at it, boys, and here we are a year later. Like, where could we be in another year's time?
Man, I can't wait to. It's just almost like, I can't believe it's happened so much in 1 year. I'm excited.
You should be excited. I mean, the world's your oyster. Like, I see you guys, your brand, I really do see it developing. Obviously, we'll have a chat maybe off camera a bit more so about how we can develop like the brand. Like I mentioned to you before, like, I'm going to be setting some things up where we can potentially help you guys with building up your brand as well. It'll just be niching down and just really trying to narrow down on exactly your target audience. But I think you guys could help people so much. There'd be a lot of people that see your story and get motivated, inspired, and we'll do some tinkering and work out exactly what your best service would be in terms of brand. But I mean, there's so many options, ways we could go. I mean, I even think at this point you guys could start even mentoring people yourselves pretty soon.
We have thought about that. It's just, again, timing, isn't it? It's because some of these deals are coming up. We're just like, how are we even going to find the time to do it? But I think that's why we're slowly outsourcing a lot of the stuff. So like the interior design is a massive. Give that to my sister. I think it will come slowly. I think it will come naturally, maybe later on this year.
For sure. It doesn't need to happen before it's due. But I just think that there'll be the same way, like you guys say, you saw me and related to me and you wanted to get involved in our education. I think there'll be lots of people who would see you guys and think, no, I like how these guys operate. I want to learn from them. And it seems like you've gone down the service accommodation route more so than the HMO route, which is fantastic. And there's so many people who want to learn that strategy, like specifically. And who better to teach them than guys who've got off to double figures in their first year. So, like you say, not before it's time. Keep making sure the business is perfect and operating well. That's the bread and butter. But in due time, I think there's a huge market share for you guys in terms of brand and offering your services. We just have to do some work and set things up.
Yeah, and me and my brother have spoken about mentoring and educating other people, but we've realised that we don't just want to help people make loads and loads of money. Sometimes it's actually about, like, we spoke about this and we were like, okay, why don't we just help like the single mums pay every month, just wants one rent to rent or one accommodation. I don't think, you don't want to be the guy that says that you need 10, 15 to quit your job. And it's just about supplementary income as well, like just to help people like get that extra £500 a month, which can just help someone out. And I think given the current crisis, like, it's horrible out there in the market. And when you think about mortgage rates, I mean, you're looking at an average of 6.5% on a on a 90%.
Yeah, I just got one for 7%.
I mean, that's insane. So you can't even buy a property anymore. Food costs are shooting through the roofs.
It's not.
Yeah, exactly. So we want to help those people. Even if it's one person, make a couple of £100 extra a month. Like for us, and look, if you want to also make the 5 figures, whatever, I'm sure we'll be able to help you do that as well, right? But
yeah, it's about wanting to help people from coming from the right place, isn't it? And I think people get, obviously, it's the shiny penny syndrome, isn't it? People see the money and they think, right, yeah, I want to go and make a 10 grand a month business, but there's a lot of work that goes into to get into that stage, right? And
it takes time.
It takes time.
A lot of time.
It starts with one deal, that starts with getting your first one. That's, I think, like Sam just said there, you want to help people just get off the ground. That's like the best feeling. And then, they can go from there for sure.
And when I think about it, the majority of our mistakes, shortfalls, were actually made in the first couple of properties.
Yeah.
Once you iron those out, and then all you do it again, however many times you need to do it.
Yeah.
You've done that 13 times now. But
it's crazy though, isn't it? Like how I bet even like your pitch has changed, like your confidence in even your voices and things. Like when you're speaking to people, like you go from like, Mr. Landlord, can I come around and see the property, to like, yeah, here's my offer, take it or leave it, it's up to you. Yeah. It's almost like they're calling you back. It goes like completely roles reversed.
That's actually, you said that. Yeah, exactly. Like I'm just thinking about this particular guy now, and I'm like, this is how much deposit we're going to give you.
Yeah.
For 4 units. Let me know.
Yeah, but that's just part of the process. You're getting proof of concept, becoming more confident, and it's just reps, isn't it? Like anything, it's practice, and it's great to see. Like I can even see when I'm speaking to you guys now, the amount versus when you first started. When I first started speaking to you back in April, it's ridiculous how much you've learned in a short space of time. And I can't take full credit for that. Most of it has come from the action that you've taken, which is just a testament to yourselves really. And anyone listening to this or watching it should know that it's about taking action and following in the steps of people who've gone and done it. That's where you get the best results. There's only so much I can learn. I put up a thread the other day just saying I can only help people as much as they want to help themselves, and it's very relevant to you guys because you guys wanted to help yourself. By the time we first spoke, you guys were determined and ready to get this going. It wasn't like you're going to put your one foot in and see how it goes. It was like, we're doing this. We want the information. We're going to take the information and we're going to go and get cracking with it. And can't fault you at all, really, guys.
Yeah, we were so eager, man. And I feel like when you get your first deal, your confidence just does get higher and higher.
Yeah, for sure. I can see. I keep tracks on you guys on Instagram and that. I keep looking at your content, and that's improving as well. But people love a story, and that's what brand is, and that's what we can hopefully be working on in the future for sure. So, have you guys got any tips for someone who's starting out, who potentially might only have 5 grand to their name? They're just getting started. They want to get involved in rent to rent. They're a bit apprehensive.
I think to your question there. Yeah. So obviously we relate with you, and find someone who's smashing it in their craft, and not just find someone who you can relate with. I think that's number one, and just pay for the course. Don't be dilly-dallying around. Should I spend £500? Just do it. Just invest in it, because a lot of these people, they've gone to uni like myself, and we're so quick to throw 9 grand on a business course. Yeah, 9 grand a year over the course of 3 years.
It's too cheap, Yeah,
27k, man. But I just think it's just pay £500 and just learn it.
Yeah,
it's got to happen from within as well. Don't just do the course and expect the other person to just give you loads of properties and you're magically going to get rich. It doesn't happen like that. It happens from within. Yeah. And the mentor, so yourself, you're there to kind of fill in the gaps and tell us how to do it.
Sure. I can't make you go and make the money. You got to go and make the money yourself. You have to go on viewings. You have to go and do the rounds. You have to speak to the landlords. I can't do that for you. And that comes from within, like you say. I see Sam going into a couple building sites and offering the services, touting himself around. I love to see that, because that's exactly what I was doing in the beginning. And did you get a deal like that?
Man, what's crazy? Like, I found this development and I was like, walk in, and I just walked in and I was like, found like these, I think they were Romanian builders. Started chatting to them. I was like, man, who's the site manager?
Yeah.
Like, this guy. He wasn't the site manager, some other guy.
Yeah.
And I met him, and then he gave me the guy's number, and I've taken 4 units from him.
Amazing.
4 units, and on top of that, we've already got all of them secured on a long-term lease from one of our. So for the next 6 months, they're already secured in terms of revenue and things.
Which is the best feeling, isn't it, when they're booked, and it's one less problem to worry about, isn't it?
The same thing happened a few months before as well. So again, same kind of similar situation. There was a building site I went in. There was like an Indian man with like low understanding of English, and I was like, "Are you the landlord? Like, what's happening?" He gave me the landlord's number.
Yeah.
And do you know what's funny? Yeah. So when I got into the building, without even speaking to the guy, I FaceTimed Sam because I was just so happy.
Yeah.
I was just hoping, oh my god, I'm in the building. I'm in. But then I wasn't even communicating with the guy. But anyways, I asked him for the landlord's number, and then I was just speaking, and I was like, "Look, this is what we do. This is what we provide." And he was like, "That's fine. Like, email me your proposal."
Yeah.
And I was just like, there was just adrenaline just rushing through me. because I was like, bro, this is potentially 4 units, right? And then fast forward now, man, we're just using that same formula. Like if there's a building site, we'll just go in there and be like, look, this is who we are, this is what we do. Are you interested in providing a long-term lease? And we'll just go from there. I feel like when you get your first few, it just follows. The confidence just comes.
Of course it does. Like you will go into that building site and offer your services once you've got a couple of deals, because you know it works. Whereas before that, it can, you can be a bit apprehensive, but that's the correct attitude to have. Like so many people talk about paid ads and, marketing this and Facebook groups, but ultimately going straight to the decision makers, like mano a mano, like person to person, and offering your services. I still love that form of marketing. Like there's not really any better way to do that in terms of showing your character and showing that you're trustworthy.
Like people tell to people, don't they? So, and all you need is that one yes. Like when you have that one yes, it's like, okay, cool. So what I've just said isn't complete shit.
No,
it's I'm doing it, and this person believes in me. So let me just follow that same step on other people.
Exactly. And I think if you think about these developers, they build these flats and they've got options of either going to an estate agent and getting charged XYZ for tenant fine fees, management fees, different costs, ongoing costs, or they can come to people like yourselves and get a long-term fixed guaranteed income. And I think often a lot of people think, well, why would a landlord do that? But people who haven't really got money don't really understand the mindset of someone who does have a bit of money, right? So when someone's got multiple properties, they're not thinking about things in scarcity, like, can I make as much as I can from every single unit? They're more thinking about, can I work with someone who's going to give me time back if they're self-managing, and who's going to just give me a fixed income on the unit? Because when they look across their portfolio, they want to see that those 4 are taken care of. The income's coming in every month. It may be a couple £100 less than potentially as letting agent could give or could rent it out for in theory, but when you add up the fees that they take from that as well, it's a no-brainer. It's a much better value proposition, guaranteed rent, than working with an estate agent getting charged tenant fine fees, I think.
It's quicker and it's time. It's going back to what Sam said about paying someone for their knowledge. It's just getting that time back, isn't it?
Exactly. That's what landlords want. I mean, think about it. The older you get, obviously, the less time you have here. So it's like, what do I value more? And those people, in my experience, my landlords, they value their time more than necessarily the money at this point. They're quite asset rich. They've got quite a lot of equity in their assets. Some of them that don't even have mortgages. So it's like, they just want to be able to know their assets are taken care of, guaranteed income, and they can go and spend time on a yacht or with their family doing whatever they want to do,
Yeah, definitely.
So guys, any closing words for the pod? I mean, we've flown through the questions. Any more things you want to share with us? Any things you've forgotten? Would be a great time to throw them in now.
Anyone starting this business, look, motivation is important. Your why are you doing this? I mean, before we started this business, me and my brother actually sat down and was like, okay, like, why are we doing this? And for us, it was the little moments, just going, it could be like going to the cinema and, you get all the tickets, you get all the popcorn, you just don't have to think about it as well. Like, my mum, she had never been to anywhere apart from Bangladesh, which is where we're from. But last year we took her to Marrakesh, which is a new country that she's seen, right? A new experience for the whole family. For her 50th birthday this year, we took her to Dubai for her 50th birthday. So like things like that, which actually mean something to us, like actually just enjoying experience life, because we're not coming back, so we might as well just enjoy it whilst we can. But having money does help, and
for sure. People act like as if money doesn't solve a lot of problems, but it really does. It definitely removes a lot of stress.
Yeah, it does.
Like it makes things a lot easier when there is enough money to. It's like filling the cup up. You fill the cup up, there's enough to pour out and help people. Whereas if the cup's only like slightly full, there's not much really there to pour from. And that's what's great about rent to rent. It's a cash flowing business. There's money there, and that helps you with your accounts, and it helps you look like you're making more money. And when it comes to buying as well, as the stage you'll get to soon, it's going to be so easy for you to get mortgages. It's never completely easy, but it's not going to be difficult because you've got those years of accounts. So most lenders will think, straight away we'll happily lend to them.
Actually, that's good to know. I'm going to ask you more questions about that offline, actually.
Yeah. We will for sure. We will for sure.
So motivation, find your why. You need to be disciplined. So get educated, but also think about, you need to do the work.
Yeah.
So you need to if you work a 9 to 5, wake up in the morning and get your work done.
Yeah.
Whatever that might be having a list of estate agents you want to call later on that day. Your lunch break, utilize your lunch breaks. Like, you need to be disciplined in this. we're super lucky because, like, I know Milad can handle a lot of the stuff whilst I'm in the 9 to 5, but then he'll give me loads of shit to do when I come back from work. So
to be fair, this is the thing is this business is also possible with you having a job, because even when I was having a job, I'd make sure that, again, going back to what Sam said, you utilize your time. You make sure that when you do have your lunch break between 12 to 1, you're not just sitting there watching BBC iPlayer. You're making sure that you're hitting those calls, and you're scheduling your time based on your business. It's definitely possible, because we had 3 units when we was both working.
Yeah,
so we were just able to scale more with one of us in job and one of us out. But yeah, definitely get educated. I think that's really important, because otherwise you just, what are you going to do? You're not going to know what to do, right? Honestly, what are you going to do? You want to do this rent-to-rent business, but you don't have a clue. So find someone who you relate to. That's really important, and pay the £500.
Yeah, no, for sure. I'd agree with that. Where would be the best place for people to see updates on you guys' businesses? Then is it the Instagram?
I think so. Yeah, Instagram. You see a lot of stories. Do you know what we do try? We're a bit lazy with it. We just don't have the time. But I think in the beginning it was very much a lot of imposter syndrome. Like, I don't want to post this, or this is only. In the beginning it was like, we've only got 3 units. Like, X person got, like, for me especially. But I think Sam was the complete opposite. He was like, "No, we need to document this." I'm like, "Nah, I don't want to document this. I feel like an idiot. Like, I don't really want to." But yeah, now we realize how many people we can actually help. I think it's important to show people the journey, because now looking back now, I wish I had really.
Yeah. Of course, I think it's just that shift in documenting what you're doing versus like creating content. I think people overcomplicate it. They think, right, I have to create these amazing pieces of content. You don't really have to do that. You just need to document what you're doing, and then over time you can use what you have and position it in the correct ways and use that for content. But it's just basically documenting the good, the bad, giving people an insight into what you're doing day to day. It builds trust with potential clients. It makes people see what you're doing, and it just shows that you are actually doing what you say you do, as opposed to a lot of people who we see on the internet who are obviously, some people aren't making what they say they're making. Some people are just pretending. Some people are amazing communicators and they're really good at teaching, but they're not really great at business, but they can position themselves online to look like they are, and they're making money that way. But I think that has quite a short tail to it, and I think those people will get found out eventually.
Definitely. So look, we're going to be posting a lot more on Instagram. We're going to be sharing our journey, sharing exactly what we're up to, and helping people on their journeys. Feel free to ask us a question. You can find us at Rockman Estates on Instagram. And that's our main port of call, to be honest. So Rockman Estate, feel free to ask us any questions, and follow the journey. I mean, there's exciting things coming along, and
bigger and better deals, man. Bigger and better deals in the next coming months.
I can only imagine the trajectory is going to be up for you guys. And this is the first time we've sat down and had a proper chat in a while. So it's been great catching up with you both. Hopefully we'll be able to do another podcast episode, maybe even in the flesh at some point. This can just be get the rust off,
I hope you enjoyed that video with Sam and Milad of Rockman Estates. If their success story has sparked a fire in you, then I'm here to tell you that it's possible for you too. If you're interested in learning about rent to rent, then head over to lukespropertieseducation.com. Every resource, every piece of knowledge you need will be there. If you haven't already, then please remember to subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you don't miss out on the next video. Until next time, stay motivated, keep learning, and always aim high.